Okay.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me find a good location here where it just sits here without any problem. Okay. Let's see that follow up. Is it in focus?
Yes.
Okay. This right here needs to be installed to to create what I'm going to call the Indigenous Global Trade Network, which is going to be a network that's going to be set up uh, on an inner tribal to start with and throughout the state of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So this represents New Mexico, I guess you would say, as a state. And you could start from right in the middle where Sandia, which is right up north of us, Isleta, south of us, Pueblo's right in the center. But you start north. This is the north line for the trade between the tribes in New Mexico. You connect Dulce, Taos, Pickeries onto this trade route right here, which will go to the center part here. And then onto the northwest side, you see where it says Shiprock,
Mm-hmm.
which is Dene, which is the Shiprock area connected to the Jemez, the Zia Pueblo, I guess the Santa Ana, I guess would come down this route as well. And then you go over this side is the Dene again, but this one is the Window Rock Dene, and I guess with Hopi on this side of them.
Mm-hmm. The west.
Yeah, on the west side, and Canyon de Chelly right above Window Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's what's that, George something that's on the other side of Canyon de Chelly.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the name, but it's a Dene community up there. But anyway, this route goes into that route. This is the west side. Then on the southwest route, you hit the Mount Taylor area tribes, which is basically the Laguna, the Acoma,
And the Rama
and the
Navajo.
Rama and the Zuni. I'm trying to figure out this way or that way with Zuni yet, but I think Zuni might go up here, and Rama might go down here. And this was a trade route for these tribes, which is central to go to the central location. And then at the very bottom, going south from where we're at in the central location, are the Mescalero Apache, and I guess that would be down there at the White Sands area, Tularosa area. And then that would be the Apaches on the south end. And below the Apaches, it's really important to have this tribe to be really included, is the Isleta del Sur Pueblo people down near El Paso, Las Cruces area. Because they're really important because they're the connection that's going to connect us, which I'll show you in a second here, to, believe it or not, Mexico itself. But I'll show you in a second when that. Now that you see the layout, that how it shows it here, how for the state. Once you organize the tribes, and I have a layout on how to do it, statewide, and then you expand this to here. See, there's Isleta del Sur again, except this time, this is where it's going to get really interesting. Because on this one, you'll notice that when you go north, it goes to Blackfoot, Montana area, the interior Salish people, the Uinta Basin, going directly north from us. Going north to west from us is my people, the Pacific Northwest, Klamath, Modoc people, going to the northwest, similar to like we're doing here. Then directly going west are the Great Basin people in Nevada and the Pacific tribes in California. And all the tribes going this way to this area, the Pies, the Wallapais, the Sioux Pies, and then the Yavapais, the Pies. Then going down southwest, then you have all the way down this, and you have the Yumas, the TOs. TOs are important too.
Tohono O'odham, for those who don't know.
Because they're connected to Mexico too.
I think the Biliganas called him Pima. Is that what the name is, Roger?
No, anciently they call them Pabago and
okay. Oh yeah, Papa.
Pimach, I don't know. That's what Pima means. They're really Acoma O'odham, but Spaniards and white guys confuse their names
Yeah.
to confuse us.
Yeah.
But that's another story for right now. I gotta
Okay.
finish what I'm
So
doing.
Tios and
Yeah,
Pimas.
Tios and the Yumas and the Pimas and then the Sargon Carlos Apaches and the White River Apaches or this route going that way. And then going south, it's really important. It's back to the Mescalero Apaches again, which are down this way. And then there's Isleta del Sur again. It's called the Indigenous Global Trade Network, set up as an independent trade and distribution points that is based on ancient Chinook concepts of mapping indigenous trade transactions of trade, barter, sell. An independent indigenous distribution system to get locally grown produce between network communities. What is produce? Crops, fish, shellfish, and traditional foods.
Can you point out the locations? Because you were covering it up with the book.
Oh, okay.
All right, so try that. Do the pointing again of what you were, the different trade crops.
Let's start up here. 49106.
And that's degrees, latitude, and
That's
longitude.
the latitude, that's the longitude. In other words, Montana. What's that, Montana? Blackfoot.
Oh, the Blackfoot Indians.
Pacific Northwest Coast? 49110. That's them. The Pacific Tribes, California? That's that way, where 40 is, Pacific. Yuma, TOs, White River, San Carlos area, is this branch that's coming up from down here, going up. That group going up this way. The Mescalero Apaches, Isleta del Sur, Pueblo peoples, that's the southern branch that's going up to where we're at, 35106, to Pueblo. Isleta del Sur, down near El Paso, Las Cruces.
So that's the latitude and longitude for them.
And Mescalero going in this way. Over on this route of the thing is why another reason why I need to get the Isleta del Sur people involved, because we need a person to be the go-between between the Texas tribes that are going this way, and these are the people that can do that. See? It's where the Texas tribes going that way.
Okay, and then down to Mexico.
And then when you go this way, there's the Plains Indians, like the Kiowas, the Comanche area this way. And then on this line going up that way, it's the Lakota, the Upper Plains tribes, the Lakota, the Nakota, blah, so forth. Now, see how it's laid out?
Yeah. So maybe we could talk to Louis Garcia.
Well, now you know why I'm trying to get this together. The rest of the thing is that the produce is not, it started with crops because every tribe has their own way of growing things. And we could get tribes interested in getting their tribal stores to put a little section of their store just set up for produce that's from intertribal groups so we could share our foods with each other so we don't starve to death and not totally dependent on the white man for, getting food on the table. Now
Well, because that's a traditional expression, an expression of a traditional form of living, the federal government could not tax us because we are expressing our traditional, indigenous, ancient way of life.
Chinook trade is cultural. And the thing with the produce too is with the crops is that they're seasonal. So in order not to waste crops, because a lot of times crops go to waste, because a lot of times capitalism gets in the way, really gets wasteful. To get into this network system, that 10% of every final transaction for use of our network and distribution connections will go to us to keep everything maintained and run, bookkeeping, all of that stuff, upkeep.
So we could hire indigenous bookkeepers and accountants.
And to keep this going, this beginning trade route, this is the northern part, this is this bottom part.
And this is the ancient indigenous trade route system that is also a global indigenous trade route system.
You see these two lines right here? This is the trade point where the trade between both areas is made, between this area and that area, totally, right there. That's what this is about. That's what this means. Everything that comes funneled down goes to there. If things funnel down, you could trade things that way to that way. See how this is going with that? Well, the other thing is that 5% of product, which is produce over here, product, produce again, or of the inventory, 5% of all of the tribal foods that will be collected because of the seasonal thing. You don't want them to go to waste, or even shellfish for that matter, or things that are on our beaches that are just rotting and going to nowhere. 5% of it will be donated to every Native community that everybody is going to, so that no matter where you're at, 5% of your whatever you have is going to be left with the first tribe that you're going to be trading with, and then you can continue on your trip like that. With everybody doing that, that means that 5% of all the tribal foods won't be wasted no more. They'll be donated to the indigenous needy. Who are the indigenous needy? The elderly, the children, the handicapped, the homeless. And so that everybody's taken care of this way. And the food don't go to waste, that it's sitting out there rotting in fields. You could get it on somebody's table and plate and put it to use. So this part right here is Montana, going up this way up to Colorado. This needs to be initiated first. This needs to be initiated second. The reason I'm saying that is because you'll find out in a second here. Once you set this up and you set that up, this is going from Montana, Canada, down here to the New Mexican border. In other words, Mexico. So this whole thing right here is Canada to Mexico. You set those two things up. Once you get that set up, you can expand and put another one this way to finish this trade route going to the coast.
You have a kind of a global design of this too, don't you?
But if I show that, it'll confuse everybody.
Okay.
So
this is just the Americas.
And then this one right here, once you get this done, you put the next trade route and you continue this one back to the coast here. And then you have it completed. But the reason why, Isleta del Sur needs to be part of this, and people down in this neck of the woods, is because of this reason. See this 31-110?
Yes.
Okay, let's go over here. What was that number? 31-110? Okay.
Yep, 31 degrees, 110.
31-110. See, it's right there?
Okay.
Okay, now watch this right here. 30. Okay, yeah. 31-110. Okay, I got it now. That's Babakiri, basically.
Which is by the Tohono O'odham. It's Iatoi's home.
Now, if you take 31 and then you start going down to, what should I like to say? Spirit Peak, Nevada, 36-115.
Okay.
Mount Wilson is right next to this place, right? Only two above it, 38.
Okay.
Spirit Peak, Nevada, then what? 35, 34, 33, 32, which is Gila Bend over here, 31, that's Babakiri, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21.
So you basically
20, 1998. And what is that 1998? That is the latitude for Teotihuacan, Mexico. And if you follow this other arm up here of this Teotihuacan Trade Network, you follow it up here to 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. It takes you to right here to 29 degrees latitude, 89 longitude, which is the mouth of the Mississippi River. Once you get the U.S. connected, then you can connect this next, and then you can see how these people could trade not only to us over here in the States, or even above to us in the States. They could trade all the way to the Mississippi tribes over here, the Choctaw and whoever is
the Mound Culture tribes.
The Mound Culture tribes. This is who they traded with in ancient past. Not only that, if we get the people down there in Mexico involved, look, I even set it up where it goes to the east, Champutin, the Gulf of Mexico this way, 1990. And if you go down this other direction, I even tell you where all the ports are at. 1694, went to Oaxaca this way, to Manzanillo, this is the Pacific Ocean. Champutin, the Gulf of Mexico, to the Atlantic. This one goes all the way down, and well, I'm still working on this
Is
one.
that the one that goes to Easter Island?
Yeah, because this is going either to the Galapagos or Easter Island, but I have to follow it. But right now, what I'm saying is that we could connect Mexico, we could connect the United States to the Southwest, to all up to the Montanas, to the Pacific Northwest.
And to the right, even to the right, it goes to the Atlantic Ocean on another page, to the East Coast Indians.
And then with this over here, let's see if I can find this thing where, because I got some money. I made a template. Let's see if I can find it. Template, come on, template. Template. And I'm probably going to need your help with, I guess with Photoshop, I guess that would be. Is that what it would be? Probably need to.
Photoshop or Illustrator, something to put this. That's a lot of work, Raj. Well, I mean, it totally would be worth it though. But I think even your drawings.
Well, I'm going to explain to you the reason why. This is the template right now for our area.
You know what that template reminds me of? The temple at Angkor Wat. I read a paper that I think a Russian person did on it, and it was talking about how the temple was set up and how it aligned during like the equinox and like different times of the year.
A pyramid from the top, or aerial view of a pyramid looking down. Well, you see that 35 right over here? Mm-hmm. This is where we're at in this area. And see that 106? That's the longitude line over here. All of these lines are set up to the important trade points that are connected to in our area. So you can see how it's laid out to 31 degrees, and over here to 35, and over here to 39. See how it's set up? Mm-hmm. And even these little ones in here are set up to these little areas right here. 107, 36, 107, over here. At 36, 105, see how it's set up here? Mm-hmm. This is a good layout for our local area. This is where I'm going to need your help, because I made this same layout as a template. The template is going to make sense, because if you use this 35 degrees and you go anywhere on 35 degrees to within 8 degrees like we're doing here, no matter where you go on the globe, to the west, to the east, don't matter. The other side of the ocean, don't matter. Other side of the Pacific, other side of the Atlantic, it don't matter. You just keep these longitudes 8 going all the way across. What can you do? You could take this template right here. You can make a template of it, make it so that it can be put through a Photoshop. When you run it through Photoshop, you put it, what would you call that when you make it transparent?
Overlay it. Yeah, you can overlay it over stuff. Yeah.
And then when you take this template right here, what you do is you put it at 35 degrees and whatever longitude you're at on Google Map. Mm-hmm. And then you put this template over the top of it, and then you run. This is the wild idea. That's why we're going to need Tuccini's help on this one. Then you run the apps through it that are not only going to be set for LiDAR, but also be set for 3D apps that you could run through Google Map. And then when you set these up to this template and you put it over that 35 degrees and whatever the exact longitude is, you just got to go to these squares and remove the map system and just put the geographic map there, and then zoom into each of these little squares and use the app for LiDAR, for 3D, and just see what's there. That's my new form of archaeology without disturbing the dead and becoming a ghoul and a glamorous garbage collector. And that way, and you go to exact longitudes. In between are exact places that are trade points too. There's no more willy-nilly hit and miss. You're going to dig a hole here, dig a hole there. No. You go to exact locations of latitudes and longitudes. And you could even look on location on a Google map and look at it with LiDAR and 3D and even look at it even before you go there.
And can you list real quickly for people who are listening some of the places that this ancient indigenous Chinook global trade system have actually lined up to? Some of the sacred cities around the world?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, let's start with somebody that everybody knows. The white man. You know those crazy, what did they call them? Templars or Knights of the, whatever they're, I can't remember what. Anyway, those guys that are coming out of the Knights Templar, and I guess that's Scott Walters chasing them around the world, and they're thinking they know this about La Rochelle and all that stuff. And,
Knights of the Living Dead. I'm just kidding.
the Knights of with a K-N-I, Knights of the, and they all died of a deadly catechism. Yeah. But
did you say deadly catechism?
Yeah, exactly. They all died of a deadly catechism.
Isn't that the Spanish Inquisition?
They died from too much Christianity. That's what happened. Anyway, this is from Iceland. These are all the trade routes to get there.
Okay, Iceland.
Don't have to worry about all these other places, which are interesting because it does have La Rochelle in there, which is the Templar capital and all that stuff. It goes to Silves, Portugal, which is to the Temple of Jupiter, which was an ancient temple, and in ancient times that was a big time thing. And Silves, it goes exactly there. But the reason I wanted to show this is this La Ferrassie cave. That's at 44 degrees latitude, 0 longitude, which is right here in my chart.
Okay.
Which is a cave that's over there in France. Oh, because La Rochelle's right there. The reason I'm showing you this one first is because if we were trading with these people that's on my chart a long time ago, this location is 300,000 years old.
Is that cave with the horses like that they discovered that were painted onto the ceilings? And
exactly. This goes back to the Neanderthal and the beginning of of humanity coming out of the jungles and the caves, basically. But 300,000 years ago. I mean, we're trading with these people 300,000 years ago. I mean, I was being really nice when I was thinking this system was 28,000 years old, but now that I'm, I just have to get myself out of that river in Egypt called denial. I'm finding locations, that are tied to the white man that we were trading with them 300,000 years ago. So this is one of the important places
that's been identified on your
on my
global global trade system.
The other one is the one that I sent to, what's that? To Carl, which I hope he got to V, I hope. Because that was the one that I think is this one. So that was the trade chart. Not Renier. No. Okay. Anyway, while I'm looking for that, I'll explain something else I did by nature because I think it's on the back page, which I'm pretty sure it's in the back. This one is from the Azores Islands. People are saying, Azores, what are you doing way out there? It's way out in the Mediterranean, 3828.
Okay.
Azores Island.
All right.
3828. There. Follows all the way down, goes all the way down. You go to the Delta, going all the way across. You go all the way across the ocean. You go to Trinidad down this way. Aspero down in this neck of the woods over here. And then it takes you to a place called Coral. Caral. Coral is 2,000 years older than Egypt.
Well,
that's another location where that people don't know that, in these locations, go to these specific spots that, you can, basically what I'm showing people are what would you call the
ancient indigenous
trade?
trade.
Yeah, the original trade routes that probably weren't in existence since these people actually lived in Nanmadol, since the people actually occupied these places.
Yeah.
Because that's when the last time they were used and viewed. This is the one that went with to Carl and Vi, and I was trying to explain to her about the Kayamino wall, which is at 39, 175, 39 degrees, 175. What is that number? 39. I didn't fill in the blanks here because there's all these islands in the Philippines and Guam that goes through I have to list yet. But I did list 22, 114, which this Kaimana Wall goes directly into the port at Hong Kong.
Oh.
So if you go from New Zealand and the Kaimana Wall, it takes you to Hong Kong. But once you get to Hong Kong, this is where it even gets more interesting. There's that 2214 again. Mm-hmm. You go to Hong Kong, you continue 23, 24, 25, 26. Then it goes to Ting Shan, I guess that was in there. And another called Jinu Shan, I guess the Yangtze River.
Oh, the Yangtze River.
Mm-hmm. Then the 29107 is the Golden Buddha Mountain.
I was gonna say the Yangtze River is like huge in China. It's like a big deal.
Well, it's important because it's lined up with this Tin Shan to the Golden Buddha Mountain. It's our alignment to get to Sanxingdui, which is where Emperor Wu was, and that dynasty just appeared, and it's got thousands and thousands of years old.
Well, that's the emperor that V Duo was talking about with Carl Crusher.
They followed over here to the Yukon.
Oh.
Well, and I know how they did it because this route I'm showing you, they went to New Zealand and then they went to the Gosford Glyphs in Australia. From the Gosford Glyphs, it takes you to Belukha, BC. And what's that, Belukha, BC? The Yukon. And you go down the Yukon, where does it take you to? The Montana Megaliths. And where does the Montana Megaliths take you to? To the Snake River, to the Salmon River. And where does river take you to? To the Columbia River. And from the Columbia River, it takes you all the way to the Sabi Island, and where Asian people once coexisted with us in the ancient past. But the Sanxingdui, you continue going all the way up on the latitudes and everything I hear. It takes you to a place called Altay.
Oh, the Altay Mountains in Russia.
No, Altay, the city.
Oh, the city of Altay.
Switch to Chrome to protect yourself from malware.
I know this sounds weird, but
sorry.
This is modern. This is really weird. Altay.
Okay.
Over here.
So that's where this is.
Altay. The same location that...
Oh, cool. Ooh.
It's weird seeing
pretty.
Modern things and tied to this ancient chart. And I guess this must be the location of Altay where they videotaped this, apparently.
Is this on the Re-Indigenizing Minds music playlist?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
All of these are. That's the reason I can find them so easy. Wow. But guess what Altay's aligned to?
What is Altay aligned to?
It's aligned to back to that Yangtze River again, but this Altay is aligned to a place called the Belukha Mountain. Belukha Mountain is at 4886. This is right over here. Belukha Mountain don't mean anything to us in the States, but if you went over to the other side of the world, it's known as the birthplace of the Turkic people, where all the people from the Western steppes and all of the Siberian people we're looking at right there.
Oh.
And Belukha, in their legend and myth, is also the entrance to Aghartha.
Aghartha? Can you tell me what Aghartha is?
The entrance to the underworld that the Tibetans talk about in the Himalayas that they keep referring to. And there are several entrances to go into the interior of the earth, where you have to go to specific places that are at specific numbers to find these locations globally. And this is one of the locations globally that we have the same thing, but we call it Aslan over here.
Aslan.
Aslan, which is pretty much the same thing, the
Cool.
mythological birthplace and that. But the Belukha mountain is really important because, like you said, that means Altay and Belukha. Altay is directly in a line to the Altay Mountains.
Ah, cool. My indigenous sisters who are so beautiful.
And that's pretty
cool. Well, thanks for sharing, Raj. I just thought you were going to, say the usual Angkor Wat, Pyramid of Giza. You surprised me.
I'm getting off the tourist path.
Yeah, because those are aligned. Those are also on this mapping system, but that's cool that you showed us some new stuff.
See, what they don't know is that if you keep going up to this place called Novosibirsk or whatever it's called at 5082, and I'm hoping if you're ever listening to this, if you do get up to listening to this, there's an ancient burial that was found there where the person was wearing a feathered headdress. Oh, I wonder who that could be. And just got to remember, Nobosiorsk. And that's where this ancient burial was found. And more likely, the person in that feather headdress is probably us from here in Turtle Island.
Indigenous American.
Ancient indigenous people.
Okay.
They've known about it for over 10 years in Russia and China. They've just been withholding it because they don't know how to deal with it.
Oh.
We found the DNA of these ancient people. But
the DNA of
DNA. They're from America. Not my fault. But you know how white people are, the gatekeepers of history,
Well, thank you, Raj, for sharing this, and we will let's get on to posting this now. Bye.
A little by little, we'll get everything out, because all of this is about everything that's been hidden from modern society and modern man for too long, and it's getting annoying. And I'm getting tired of acting like the savage and pretending to be a savage to, to keep the settlers from freaking out, I want to be who I really am, and this is who I really am.
To remain an Indian is a human right.
Yeah. I can't pretend to be your little Indian anymore. It's not working for me no more.
All right.
Okay, that's pretty much today's Sunday school lesson. The Little Red Schoolhouse.